From the Marlins and Dodgers trading Miguel Rojas and Jacob Amaya to the blockbuster deal between the Braves, Brewers, and the A's. Here are the most important signings for this MLB season. First up, I've got the Miguel Rojas-Jacob Amaya trade for y'all. Since late December, there had been many rumors emerging about the Marlins wanting Amaya to resolve their shortstop issues. They're convinced he's got everything to be a major league-ready defensive option. I mean, he was the 11th round pick back in the 2017 draft. So it's not a surprise if others don't see what the Marlins see in Amaya. Last year, he slashed 261, 369, 427, with 20 doubles, 4 triples, 17 home runs, and 71 RBIs. But it's clear as day that Miami rate him higher than the Dodgers. On the other hand, the Dodgers wanted to add a veteran infielder, especially after losing Trey Turner to free agency. As a result, it was a trade that made a lot of sense for everyone, with Rojas moving the other way. In the last 3 years or so, he's been in serious decline though. So, more than a shortstop, the Dodgers are after the leadership and other intangibles Rojas will bring as a terrific teammate. Safe to say, this is a trade with serious upside, so let's see how it works out. Speaking of trades with a major upside, the Josh Taylor-Adalberto Mondesi trade is a great one. Don't get me wrong, this one is a major gamble for the Red Sox who acquired Mondesi, because of all his injury concerns. However, when he's healthy, there aren't many better base stealers in the sport. In fact, he might just be the most dynamic one. Mondesi has 133 career stolen bases in 358 games. It's even more impressive when you take a look at the new MLB rules. With bases getting bigger and limits on pickoffs and step-offs, I'd say he has all-star potential. But the problem is availability. Mondesi has played more than 75 games only once in a season throughout his career, and he's recovering from an ACL surgery now. Maybe a change in scenery is exactly what he needs. On the other hand, the Royals got their hands on Josh Taylor, who is a solid reliever, but another health risk, missing the entirety of last season due to back issues. Ultimately, the significance of this trade rests on the abilities of the players to stay fit. But it still has the makings of being a very important transaction for both sides. And I have similar high hopes from the big-time trade between the Braves and the Tigers. The Braves got Joe Jimenez, while Henry Malloy was sent on his way to Detroit. Atlanta had already lost Kenley Jansen in free agency earlier, so it made a lot of sense to close a deal for Jimenez. He got an all-star appearance in 2018 and notched up 20 saves during his time with the Tigers. Last year, he came up with a 3.49 ERA and had 12.2 strikeouts per 9 innings, which is very impressive. For the Tigers, Malloy is a crucial addition, and there's an increasing possibility that they win this trade, especially if Malloy lives up to his potential. He's only 22 and was a 6th round pick back in 2021. He was fabulous last year, coming up with 17 home runs and 81 RBIs. For now, though, it's an evenly balanced trade, but the next one definitely isn't. I'm talking about the Angels getting Hunter Renfroe from the Brewers. The Angels were in desperate need of more power in their lineup, and they've added that at a very reasonable cost. If you ask me, Renfroe will be a free agent after this season, so it's a smart move. He came up with 60 home runs in the last 2 campaigns with Red Sox and the Brewers, and was batting .255 with a .315 on-base percentage. Amazing numbers. The Brewers in return agreed to the deal because it lowers their payroll, and got 3 pitchers in the age bracket of 24 and 26. They don't have much upside, which is why the Brewers got done pretty bad in this one, and you can blame their front office for the next trade as well. Because giving up Colton Wong to the Mariners looks like a terrible idea. A 2-time Gold Glove Award winner, Wong has a career slash line of .261, .334, .398 over 10 years, while averaging 12 home runs and 17 stolen bases per 162 games. He's one of the most consistent players over the last 2 years, and the Mariners have got themselves a great deal. The Brewers gave it all up in the hopes that Jesse Winker can bounce back well from his injuries. But it doesn't look good, because knee surgeries aren't ideal. Abraham Toro is accompanying Winker, and he might be some saving grace, because he's a decent backup infielder who can play second and third base. But the Mariners got more certainty from the trade for sure. On the topic of certainty, it doesn't get much better than the Diamondbacks getting their hands on Gabriel Moreno. Yeah, I know they also got Lourdes Gurriel Jr. coming in with Moreno, but Moreno's upside is absolutely insane. Many analysts are backing Moreno to be their everyday catcher by 2024. But until then, he could use maybe a year at AAA to develop his defensive side. He's only 23, so time's not a problem. Getting Gurriel Jr. is also great business. It addresses the Diamondbacks' need for a solid right-handed power-hitting outfielder, and Gurriel was very impressive in 2019 and 2021. The Blue Jays, on the other hand, have come out with a good player too. Dalton Varsho is a great left-handed bat, smacking 27 homers last season. They've been after lefties this offseason, so this one doesn't surprise me much. Varsho will be a big upgrade defensively for Toronto, and they'll have him under team control for 4 more seasons. Win-win. And you could say that again for the Phillies-Tigers trade. The Phillies were on a mad run in the offseason. Not only did they get to sign Craig Kimbrell and Matt Strahm in free agency to make their bullpen stronger, but then through this trade, they got their hands on Gregory Soto as well. It's going to give their bullpen 3 hard-throwing lefties with Jose Alvarado already in there. And Soto's got the potential to become an elite back-end reliever too. The Tigers were sad to see Soto leave, but they needed position player depth, and both Matt Fearling and Nick Maton addressed those shortcomings. I really like this one for Detroit. Maton and Fearling are versatile options and are genuine hard workers. That said, could they have gotten a better prospect if they waited until the trade deadline to trade Soto? Guess we'll never know. But at least they addressed their biggest offseason goal, right? And the Mariners did so too by getting Teoscar Hernandez from Toronto. What a great move. Hernandez has 57 homers in the last 2 seasons, and he's won the Silver Slugger Award twice in the last 3 years. He was in the top 20 in the AL MVP voting in 2020 and 2021. And he should be a great fit for the Mariners. They gave up Eric Swanson and Adam Macko to make it happen. And both of them address a top priority for the Jays, improving their bullpen considerably. Swanson's coming off a dominant season, posting 1.68 ERA, and Macko's a young lefty with a big arm. But one of the biggest moves of the offseason was definitely the addition of Pablo Lopez to the Twins, particularly when you see that their biggest offseason goal after re-signing Carlos Correa was to add a starting pitcher. Lopez is special. Pinpoint control, excellent at locating his pitches in and out of the strike zone. And he'll be under team control for 2 more seasons. But the Twins also got a proper infield prospect in Jose Salas. Going the other way was Luis Reyes, and he's going to be magnificent for the Marlins. I'm calling it already. They were in need of more offense and a table setter, as no one in their lineup had a better on-base percentage than 333. Compared to that, Reyes had a 37% clip at reaching base, and he hit 316, winning the AL batting championship. It's a great trade for both teams. But the most important trade of the offseason was definitely the one between the Braves, Brewers, and the A's. The Braves, for me, are the winners of this trade. They got Sean Murphy from Oakland, landing the best player in a huge 9-player, 3-team trade, and gave up relatively nothing in doing so. He's coming off his career best offensive season. The Brewers also didn't do too bad, to be honest. William Contreras is a fabulous addition, and I like the look of Justin Yeager. The Athletics, meanwhile, would be very happy with their haul, if they were looking for quantity, that is. Their collection does include Estuary Ruiz, a tremendous athlete with explosive speed, so maybe it's not too bad a trade. But the question is if you can translate that skill in the majors. At the end of the day, though, the Braves got themselves a long-term catcher. The Brewers got someone to bat in the middle of their lineup while addressing a major need, and the A's got plenty of prospects. So from the blockbuster deal between the Braves, Brewers, and the A's to the Marlins trading Miguel Rojas for Jacob Amaya, these are the most important signings for this MLB season.